Welcome back to Spoiler Free Wrestling, everyone. And this weekend, HBO's Last Week Tonight took aim at WWE's treatment of their wrestlers. In particular, that WWE wrestlers are classified as independent contractors, and the lack of health care provided for wrestlers took center stage in the segment. The piece focused on WWE, however, which perhaps begs the question on how similar issues are handled in other promotions. Now, for promotions such as Impact Wrestling, Major League Wrestling, and Ring of Honor, they all currently list their talent as independent contractors as well. As for the new promotion All Elite Wrestling, they have stated they plan to take care of their talent. But even this new promotion has stopped short of saying they would be providing health insurance or other full-time employee benefits to their wrestlers. In the case of some wrestlers who have been hired as office employees as well, such as SCU, the Young Bucks, Cody, etc., they will receive healthcare benefits, but for the wrestlers on the actual roster, they will not be receiving the same healthcare insurance that the office employees of AEW will be. Now, here is a collection of what the members of All Elite Wrestling's management team have said in regards to AEW wrestlers being treated by the promotion. Now, Cody told ESPN in January, so shortly after All Elite Wrestling was made official, he actually said that a union in pro wrestling would kill pro wrestling. Here's what he told ESPN. Cody said, "A union in pro wrestling, and that's this thing that people say all of the time, and they don't realize it, a union in pro wrestling would put pro wrestling out of business." But, with that said, we should be actively working towards some sort of body. And this is outside of what I'm talking about with AEW and as me in the executive role. But we should actively be working to have the happiest talent you can possibly have. Whether that starts as a talent feedback system, or a players' league, or some sort of body where there's a complete transparent communication between those in the office and those in the locker room. So, if Cody has his way, there will not be a union amongst the wrestlers of All Elite Wrestling. But that being said, Cody is one of, I believe, 74 executive vice presidents of the company. So he would only have one vote amongst that management team. So if everybody else is pro-union on the All Elite Wrestling management team, then that'll go through. But based on what Cody has told ESPN back in January, don't expect a union coming to All Elite Wrestling. Now, there were some comments made to anonymous source-based websites recently, which also cover how All Elite Wrestling will be treating their talent. Now, one could assume that if these comments are not correct, they would be refuted by AEW executives sometime soon. However, with anything from an anonymous source-based wrestling website, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt that some things may have been lost in communication here. But here is what Dave Meltzer said recently on Wrestling Observer Radio about AEW looking into healthcare insurance for the wrestlers. He said, "I know from talking to people in AEW on this, I asked about this thing, and the reaction pretty much was we looked into it. We looked into the cost, and the cost is really high, and the company is already going to be losing a ton of money starting up." So it certainly sounds, based on those comments, should those comments prove to be correct, that health insurance is not coming to AEW wrestlers either. Now, Cody has said, however, that any All Elite Wrestling wrestler hurt in their ring will be 100% taken care of. And he said this at a press conference for the promotion in January. He said, "A lot of concerns that guys will have is what happens if I get hurt in the ring. Because that's the one thing WWE covers, and we can confirm anyone that gets hurt in an AEW ring will be 100% taken care of by AEW." So if you notice, I mean, he stopped short there of saying anything to do with health insurance. And this is back in January, which means they've probably been told to stray away from talks about health insurance. But Cody would say that he wants to see changes in the wrestling industry to mirror what he's seen in the TV industry. And he said, "I'd like to see wrestling just like the television industry. I've done a few bit roles here and there, but That treatment and that care you get for your time on screen, you have a comparable influence as a pro wrestler. You're just as recognizable and you should be just as taken care of. Now, Matt Jackson, around the same time, so this is back in January when everybody's asking about this, he said that they're looking at getting health insurance for wrestlers someday. And he said, we're at the day one process of that and we're working on it, but yeah, that's definitely the plan. Never say never to talent getting health insurance one day. We're early on, so we're creaking open that door barely. Hopefully, one day we can swing it wide open. Now, Tony Khan also made some comments back in January about AEW wrestlers possibly receiving health insurance, and he didn't rule it out as something that could happen somewhere down the line. He said, I feel really positive about what we're doing in terms of taking care of the guys. We have great management, and the guys we're focusing it on, Cody and the Bucks, they are very, very hands-on with talent. And I'm sure for us, the kind of people we're bringing in, they're going to contribute to the company in a number of ways. And I think that, yeah, there is a package, a competition package, and healthcare package that could be available. So basically, what we know, based on what's been said already, don't expect healthcare insurance for AEW wrestlers off the bat. I wouldn't expect a union ever for them. In terms of them being listed as full-time employees and not independent contractors, that is going to depend on the healthcare insurance, as that's one of the main benefits they would then be required to provide. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss out on any news or reports from Spoiler Free Wrestling.